It's great to see everybody. Just real quick, fun day one. Really happy with the effort. When you have a team like this that have so many guys coming back, you know, you expect a lot of retention. But it was really good to see some of the new guys. Brandon Lux he's special. I'm going to tell you, he had a great practice. Really proud of him. And then B.J. Jordan had a great pass breakup during our first group of 7-on-7. And so it was fun to see some of those young guys retain so much from the summer too. But speed of practice was good. Of course, we don't have the shells on yet, so the physicality is a little bit different, but happy with where we're at, happy with where we are conditioning wise, and just the retention. And then I don't know if you could have a better first day with the two quarterbacks. I mean, those dudes, they even if we necessarily didn't catch some of the passes where they were throwing, the ball placement, everything like that. I actually told Jalen Peoples, he had a phenomenal rep during one-on-one. And I said, there's a guy that went in the Hall of Fame that probably couldn't defend that back shoulder fade that Baron Morton threw to Coy Aiken. And so just really happy with where we're at for day one. For that, questions?
On that same note, Rayshad Williams came back for the first time.
Looked good, got all the reps that we needed him to get. I mean, we ended practice, we go like a team period, a blitz period, we break special teams and another team period, and he took every rep with the ones on each one of those. So it's like racks, a 6 rack, a 4 rack, and a 6 rack to where he got all the reps.
I know we're early, but how do you feel about your inside linebacking depth?
Depth-wise, I feel great. It's more the experience, you know, because, I mean, depth-wise, I don't know if, you know, I know some old Red Raiders might throw something at me. We did have a dude that just went in the hall, you know, last night, and that was pretty awesome seeing Zach Thomas and seeing that double T, you know, across the nation. But as far as the overall room, talent-wise, I think is as talented as we have ever been at Texas Tech. Now it's just Book getting the guys to get the reps. Felt really good. Josiah Pierre and Jacob Rodriguez had a really, really good day. But, you know, Wesley Smith, Ty Kana, Michael Dingle had really, really good days too. And so we just got to build on that. But the talent's there. It's just the experience. We just got to try to stack reps together to get them ready for game one.
Joey, Tim said yesterday that Tyreek Matthews was right down for a couple.
Yeah, so he's got a calf strain, and he's close. I think he's got one more week. So what he did today was he did all the pre-run through before practice. He did all the stretch. He did the individual stuff, and then we held him out of any team stuff. It's just where it's at. I mean, he's really, really close. If he was in here, he would tell you he's ready to go. But, you know, the doctor will tell him exactly. We have kind of like a hard date that we're ready to let him go. The one thing about him, we would probably push that date a little bit if he was a young guy, just because we do feel like he's so close. But with him being a vet, it's more really he has some really good reps banked to where he's not missing anything, and we want him to be in good shape and be 100%. So, you know, he was good to go with everything today that we could let him do.
Can you elaborate on Braylon, or well, not elaborate, but what role do you see him playing? One of the guys, I think one of the corners mentioned yesterday, thought it would be like a nickel.
Yeah, it's kind of a mixture. Like, number one, you can't be the toughest, hardest working, most competitive team in the country and not say that you can't. Like, we have no starters. Somebody's got to go earn the right to be a starter. And so he's going to compete for a starting role, you know, at the corner spot. But the great thing about him, we tried a little bit last year, but we just didn't have the depth and the experience. But like when we go our dime personnel to where, let's say we're moving C.J. Baskerville inside to linebacker, now Lux can go to that nickel, and now we have really 6 DBs. Just C.J. can play that will linebacker with Jacob Rodriguez. So we're, you know, you start looking ahead at some really, really talented receiving cores that we're going to play. That gives us just another guy that can play coverage for Coach DeRuiter. But, man, I'm telling you, he's going to – the guys, Shad and Malik, they're going to fight their butts off to keep that spot because, man, Braylon, he's played a lot of football. You look at how many snaps of football he's played. One, before he got banged up last year, he was one of the highest rated corners with Pro Football Focus, and you see it today in practice. And you know, Lance has talked about him all summer, but now you see him more in a full speed situation, and he looks really good.
Coach, last season, despite having to rotate between 3 different quarterbacks, you guys still managed a top 10 passing offense in the country. Hopefully, with Shuck being healthy this year, how do you guys look to build upon that?
Well, you know, you've got 2 quarterbacks that are really special. I've got great arm talent. You know, I really do feel that they'll both play on Sunday, so it's fun to coach guys like that. And then the receivers that we have overall, from top to bottom, we've added speed at that spot, and then we've gotten faster as we've developed. But we have some really good, as far as our 2 deep, we feel really good. Those guys, I mean, Bradley, Miles Price had a great day today. Loic had a really good day. Coy had a good day. I mean, you have so much experience that they're going to be in the right spot. Again, I could go on and on because J.J. Sparkman had a really good day. So feel good about the receivers.
What's your feeling from day 1 this year to day 1 last year, and how this team has evolved?
Man, I wish that it'd be really cool if we like put each team side by side and just, we look a lot different. We're a bigger group. You could see it in our arms. You could see it, you know, just upper body. We're more experienced. Not a lot of things affect us as much, but that's just because we have so many reps banked in this offense and defense and our special teams. So we play faster. We're a faster team, but we're playing faster because we have so many reps. And so it's, I won't say night and day. I still believe that the end of last year in the bowl game, this team would beat that team by 14 points, and that's nothing against. Shoot, you know, Muddy would say they wouldn't, because Muddy had like 5 tackles, 5 solo tackles last night in his first NFL start, so it was really fun to watch him last night. But this is a really good group.
And along those same lines, talk about the leadership that this team is. You're getting leadership from, you know, the brand on down.
Yeah, you know, we have some, you know, some strong. Probably the 2 strongest voices on our team are Bryce Ramirez and Tyler Shuck. Those 2 guys, they have some really, we always ask everybody, we want you to be a great teammate first. Like every single person in that locker room should be a great teammate. And then there should be leaders that emerge out of that. But the first thing that the leader has to do is be a great teammate. And so we want our guys backing those guys up that are in that leadership role. But it's really, you know, it's fun to see guys come out of their shell or comfort zone and be vocal to help each other out. You know, they've got to take charge of this team. You want a player-led team. If I'm the guy that wants to win the most and I'm having to push them the hardest, I'm going to do that. And we've won that away, but it sure is a lot easier when you have a player-led team that all you got to do is say one little word to one dude and the practice is picked up.
Got time for 1 or 2 more. How does it feel that Bryce Ramirez back?
God, man, you know, there's so many things that he brings to this team. You know, it's a process right now for him. I think 2 or 3 days from now is we're going to see where he's really at when we put pads on, and he gets hit the first time, and you know, then when we get in our first scrimmage again, how he handles that, because you know that was a pretty tough injury. But to see him battle back, to see him the way he practices, how vocal he is, it's so much. I mean, he's such a rock for this team, and it was fun to see him out there.
Coach, I know it's a dead period. I know you can't really get into specifics, but how are you feeling about your class of 2024 so far?
Freaky, man. Feel great. You know, feel really good about where we're at, and it'll be, when you look at that class, it'll be smaller than my first 2 classes just because of our numbers. That can always change because who knows what's going to happen with the world that we live in and everything. We don't want to lose anybody, you know, and so we're going to make sure that everybody knows how much we love them and how valuable they are to this program and this university. But that could change, but it'll be a little bit smaller class, but we feel really good about the class.
Do you have like a set number of signees you want to take?
Somewhere, you know, 19, 20 is probably where we'll end up, you know, scholarship-wise.
Coach, talking to your defensive guys yesterday, a constant theme that comes up is the energy and juice you guys play with on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about the take three model and what that means?
Well, you know, if you're a +3 in a game, then you win 93% of those games. And so to get to +3, I know I'm not going to have to take my shoes off to do this math, but you got to get to 3 to have a +3. And so we talk about that. And then it's when you really truly go and try to play 22 guys or more on defense, and the guys are getting the reps, then they buy in more. So we're going to play a lot of guys on defense to play at the speed that we're at different parts of the game. And then I told our young guys, our freshmen, I said, call some of your buddies that are playing college football and ask them how many reps they got. Nobody in the country got more reps than we did today. We had a red practice going on and a black practice going on. So every rep that Tyler Shuck took, Jake Strong took the same amount of reps, the exact same play. It might have been a different look because they could have checked something different on defense, but every single player out here took the exact same amount of reps, and we had 2 practices. I thought they responded to that. You got to be in good shape to do that, and it was exciting. So that even brings even more juice knowing that everybody's getting the same amount of reps.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all.